Hello everyone, let me introduce myself first. My name is Raivanova Fadila. I am from class 641C01 with student ID number 642511216 and I am majoring in management. Today, I would like to share my opinion about a very interesting and emotional topic, the result of Indonesia versus Bahrain football match. This game attracts a lot of attention from football fans all over Indonesia, and it gave us many feelings, excitement, pride, and maybe even a little bit of disappointment. Before I start, I want to make it clear that this is only my personal opinion based on how I saw the match and what I think it means for our national football team. First of all, let's talk about the match itself. From the beginning, both teams showed strong motivation. Bahrain played with great physical strength and tactical awareness, while Indonesia relied on teamwork, creativity, and fighting spirit. Bahrain is known as one of the consistent teams in Asia, so facing them is never easy. Meanwhile, Indonesia is still developing with a lot of young players who are full of energy and potential. When we talk about performance, I think Indonesia played quite well. Even though the final result might not have met everyone's expectation, the players worked very hard and showed great determination. There were several moments in the match when Indonesia managed to create good chance and control the tempo of the game. That showed improvement and confidence compared to previous match. However, there were also a few weaknesses that need attention. The first one is defensive organization. Sometimes our defenders lost their focus or left too much space for Bahrain attackers. Those small mistakes can lead to big consequences, and that's exactly what happened in this match. The second weakness, in my opinion, is finishing. Indonesia had some great opportunities to score, but we couldn't turn them into the goals. We often see this problem. We can create many chances, but we still need better accuracy and composure in front of the goal. Finishing well requires confidence, calmness, and good decision making under pressure. Even with these weaknesses, I still appreciate how hard our players fought. They didn't give up until the very end. That shows strong mentality and pride in representing the country. I believe that kind of spirit is the foundation we need to build stronger national team. Now, talking about the result, some fans might be upset if Indonesia didn't win. But for me, the result is not everything. Football is not only about who wins or lose, but also about the progress. Each match teaches us something valuable. How to defend better, how to finish more effectively, and how to work as a solid team. Facing Bahrain itself is already a good test for Indonesia. They are a team with strong experience, so playing against them helps our players understand what it takes to compete at a higher level. The fact that we can challenge a team like Bahrain shows that we are moving in the right direction. However, the result also reminds us that we still have a lot to improve. The Football Association of Indonesia should continue developing young talents, improving physical training, and providing more international match experience. We need a consistent system that supports players from the youth level up to the senior national team. One thing that really impressed me from this match was the support from Indonesian fans. Whether we win or lose, the supporters always stand behind the team, waving flag, singing, chants, and creating an incredible atmosphere. That's what makes Indonesia football so special. It's not just a sport, it's part of our culture and national pride. In my personal opinion, the result of the Indonesia versus Bahrain match is not a failure, but a lesson. It shows that our team is growing, we just need more experience, more discipline, and stronger teamwork. Every match, win or lose, bring us closer to becoming a better football nation. If we compare today's national team to a few couple years ago, the progress is clear. We play with more structure, more strategy, and more confidence. The players are learning how to stay calm under pressure, and that's a very good sign for the future. To conclude, my opinion about the result of Indonesia versus Bahrain is filled with hope and optimism. Yes, there are still areas to fix, but the effort, passion, and fighting spirit of our players are something we should all be proud of. Football is not only about winning trophies, it's about building character, teamwork, and unity, and I believe one day Indonesia will reach a level where we can stand equally strong with the best team in Asia. Thank you very much for listening to my opinion once again. My name is Reva Noval Fadila from class 641C01 dengan NIM 642511216 Manajemen. Let's keep supporting our national team. Hello everyone, welcome back to my presentation. This video is a continuation of my previous text part 1. So now in part 2, I will continue by presenting and explaining an important topic in English grammar, which is the simple present tense. Today I would like to present and explain one of the most important topics in English grammar, the simple present tense. This tense is very common and we use it almost every day when we talk about habits, routines, facts, and general truths. Let's start from the definition. The simple present tense is a verb tense used to express something that happens regularly, something that is always true, or something that represents a general fact. In other words, we use the simple present when an action happens again and again or when it is permanent. For example, I go to campus every morning. The sun rises in the east. She works in a bank. All of these sentences show actions or facts that are true in general or happen repeatedly. Now let's talk about the structure. There are two basic patterns, one for positive, one for negative, and one for question. Positive form. For subjects I, you, we, they, we use the base form of the verb. Subject plus verb 1 plus object. Example, I study English every day. They play football on weekends. For subject he, she, it, we add s or es to the verb. Subject plus verb plus s or es plus object. Example, he studies English every day. She watches TV after dinner. Remember, we add es to verbs ending with g, hey, s, hey, ss, x, or o. For example, watch, washes, passes, fixes, and goes. Negative form. To make a negative sentence, we use do not or does not before the base form of the verb. For I, you, we, they, use do not or don't. For he, she, it, use does not or doesn't. Examples, I don't like coffee. They don't study on Sunday. He doesn't play football. She doesn't eat spicy food. Notice that after does not, the verb returns to its base forms, not plays but play. Question form. To make questions, we move do or does to the front. Structure. Do or does plus subject plus verb 1 plus object. Example. Do you like pizza? Does he live in Jakarta? Do they study every morning? The answer can be short like, yes I do, yes he does, no I don't, and no he doesn't. Now let's move to the uses of the simple present tense. There are several important ways to use it. Number 1. To talk about habits or routines, something that you do regularly. For example, I wake up at 6 o'clock every morning. She drinks milk before bed. We go to class every Monday and Wednesday. Number 2. To talk about facts or general truth. For example, the earth moves around the sun. Water boils at 100 degrees Celsius. Cats like milk. Number 3. To talk about schedules or timetables. For example, the train leaves at 7 a.m. My class starts at 8 in the morning. Number 4. To express feelings, thoughts, or opinions. For example, I think English is interesting. She believes in herself. They love watching football. Now, let's look at some common mistakes students often make. Sometimes people forget to add S for he, she, it. For example, they say he go to school every day, which is wrong. The correct sentence is he goes to school every day. Another mistake is when people use do instead of does for the third person singular. They might say, does he like ice cream? But the correct form is, does she like ice cream? These small details are important because they show your understanding of English grammar. So, to summarize, the simple present tense is used for daily routines, facts, habits, feelings, and schedules. The structure is simple, but you need to pay attention to the subject and the correct form of the verb. Positive, she works hard. Negative, she doesn't work hard. Questions, does she work hard? By mastering the simple present, you can communicate clearly and correctly about your daily activities and general information. Before I close, I want to remind you that learning tenses is not about memorizing rules. It's about practice. Try to use the simple present in your daily life. Talk about your habits, your classes, your hobbies, or even your opinions using this tense. The more you use it, the more natural it will become. For example, you can say, I study management at university. I like playing football. I go to campus by motorcycle. All of these are simple present sentences that describe your life and routine. To conclude my presentation, the simple present tense is the foundation of English communication. It helps us describe who we are, what we do, and what we believe in. Once you are confident using it, you can move to other tenses more easily. Thank you for listening to my explanation about the simple present tense. Once again, my name is Revan Noval Fadilah. I hope this presentation helps you understand this tense better and motivates you to keep learning English. Thank you very much.